burst into tears. The doctor just confirmed her fears. Her husband held it in and held her tight. Cancer don't discriminate or care if you're just 38, with 3 kids who need you in their lives. He said, I know that you're afraid, and I am too, but you'll never be alone, I promise you. When you're weak, I'll be strong. When you let go, I'll hold on. And when you need to cry, I swear that I'll be there to dry your eyes. When you feel lost and scared to death, like you can't take one more step, just take my hand, together we can do it. I'm gonna love you through it. She made it through the surgery fine. They said they caught it just in time, but they had to take more than they planned. And now it's 4 smiles and baggy shirts to hide what the cancer took from her. And she just wants to feel like a woman again. She said, I don't think I can do this anymore. He took her in his arms and said, that's what my love is for. When you're weak, I'll be strong. When you let go, I'll hold on. And when you need to cry, I swear that I'll be there to dry your eyes. When you feel lost and scared to death, like you can't take one more step, just take my hand, together we can do it. I'm gonna love you through oh, baby. Yeah, when there's a road gets too long, I'll be the rock you lean on. Just take my hand, together we can do it. I'm gonna love you through it. I'm gonna love you through it. I'm gonna love you through it.
Wow, wow.
Oh,
I love the effort. Martina McBride. We have reacted to her in the past as well, and I think I could be right. She likes to sing about real issues. She likes to, make music around more substantial things, because everything that we have reacted to in the past, and even this proves even more than everything else that we have both reacted to and listened to her first. She likes real things. When it comes to music, do that real thing. And this was amazing. This was the best that I've heard from her so far. I like the way it is written. It's written beautifully. When you're talking about something very broad, such as cancer, and to narrow it down within few minutes of a song and sing it and give it so much soul, that I almost had tears in my eyes when she was describing how they took more than what was planned and things like that. It was sung beautifully, and the way it had a flow, it had everything. Within few minutes of a song to put something like this, something that complex, is not easy, and that's where art comes in place. When you're a true artist, you know how to go around it.
definitely, it was beautifully put together. The lyrics were written amazingly well by this artist and the other songwriters who were involved, if any.
Yeah.
Beautifully put together. Yes, cancer is a common, I won't even call it just a disease. It's a common issue in today's world. and more so in America, more so in the West. Millions and possibly a few billion of dollars are spent each year on cancer research. Sadly, most of that is to find a cure for cancer. Not too much money and time is invested in actually how to prevent cancer. If you focus more time and money and effort on how to prevent cancer, I think you'll have won half the battle. And that's where the East is far, far, far more advanced as far as these issues are concerned, because here it's more prevention rather than the cure itself.
True.
We may not have money for the cure because
the
we are
best
poorer,
facilities and
poorer
everything.
and more impoverished countries because of colonization and people looting us left, right and center in the past.
For hundreds of years.
And even right now, economically. The common favorite foods of an average American is the burger, with all that fatty beef and fatty pork and unhealthy, basically, red meats, pink meats. They stuff themselves up with that, no matter whether they are rich or poor. They stuff themselves up at the BBQ parties that they have in their backyard or at buffets, wherever they go on vacation or to work, lunch buffets. They stuff themselves up with unhealthy, oily, fried, BBQ'd stuff all the time. And they actually show it as if it's part of their culture, which it probably is. And it's sad to have such a culture being promoted anywhere in the world, because it's disastrous for onlookers from any part of the world to see how unhealthy an average American is. It's sad, you talk about sodas, people talk about soda pop, whatever they call them, those things, unhealthy things. Toilet cleaners in our country, are made out of those very substances that Americans drink on a daily basis. The average American, again, I'm talking about. They drink on a daily basis the sodas and colas, if you can call them that, which are used to clean toilets in our country. And basically it's a cheaper toilet cleaner than an actual toilet cleaner, but does an excellent job nevertheless. So even in our home, we regularly use such things because they're so cheap to clean our toilets and bathroom floors. So evidently the American downs it their throat. Can you imagine the harmful effects of those? And another thing that I would like to point out, and possibly it will help all you guys who are here, trying to prevent cancer or find a cure for cancer. In the first place, if you see how there are so many of these food factory shows in America, I don't think those people actually watch them with their eyes. They probably are doing other things when the shows are on, because they clearly show you that most of those products that are made, whether it's the sodas filled in the bottles or the products filled into cans or containers, most of those products are quite hot when they are filled over there. And when you have the sides of containers which have certain substances which can melt or mix with the actual product which is put in a hot, state, very hot state, literally boiling state, it's poured into those containers. And then it's cooled down also very quickly, scientifically cooled down. It has disastrous consequences for the consumer over the years, over the long run. Maybe 1-2 times you won't even feel anything. But over the years, if you consume products from those containers, which have hot food put into them and then cool down drastically in the next phase of production, you are actually causing cancer. Not just in you, but in your kids. And it's almost guaranteed that each of your kids will have cancer. Let's put it that way. If you consume a lot of those foods out of containers, in other words, processed foods, preserved foods even more so. Now, in our country, there's an example where I'm sure India also has a lot of cancer right now.
A lot of things,
but people have really, most parts of the country, you will find people when they even eat processed food, it's actually they are unaware of it.
Yeah.
Maybe it was at a wedding, maybe it was at somewhere else at a party, and they don't know how it is prepared, or they are too, they feel guilty if they say no to it at a party or a wedding, or even at the workplace. But most people at home, even today, I would say a large extent, even 80% I would say of our population, they actually avoid red meats first of all. They avoid all these dangerous, hazardous foods. They avoid processed and preserved foods as much as possible. Even if it is preserved in a very healthy, natural way. But the Americans never learn these things from us. They learn only the worst things from us. And they learn only the worst things from each other, let's put it that way. Hence such a horrific culture in existence in that land, America. So while Martina McBride may have her heart in the right place, I can bet you 101% that she drinks water from those same plastic water bottles and drinks juice from those same plastic or similar containers which have heated product poured into them during the manufacturing process. So I can bet you 101% that probably she and her kids are also heading the same route instead of the route that we say in the East. The same route you all are heading down. So while she has her heart in the right place, Martina McBride, if you're listening, stop drinking bottled water. Simple. Crazy. It's crazy how blind you guys are.
It's a long list of things that people do wrong, and I think things are catching up around the world very quickly.
Yeah, but the influence of America is actually causing disastrous effects on India and China and so many other countries that look up, or they don't have anything else to watch. You're literally flooded with American media down your nose, throat, everything, ears, everything.
So where whatever people see most, I think people think that's what is the normal thing to do, or that's what is a cool thing to do. So you're also a young generation, young children rather. They like everything that is Western, whether it is burgers, they crave for burger, they crave for cola and everything that is American or something that they keep seeing all the time on the screen or in the lifestyle on Instagram and things like that, without even knowing how many days old those same burger patties are. Whether it is vegetarian, in India we also have vegetarian version of it, or it is non-vegetarian. And the non-vegetarian, you don't even want to count the days, how many days or how many months rather it has been in the deep freezer. Somebody being from the food industry.
I've worked in flight kitchens, I've worked in 5-star hotels. 6 months at times those burger patties have been made in advance. 6 months
in India, culturally and ancestrally, people did not really believe in eating stale food. It was a total no. In my family, when I was growing up, eating yesterday's food was a sin, literally. But nobody wanted it, just throw it away. I know I'm talking about something that's waste of food, but what burgers are doing or what preserved food is doing, it's absolutely stale, it's absolutely being kept alive just because of the preservatives that we are injecting into them. But we don't have that guilt that it is actually yesterday's, it is actually days old. We are going ahead and eating, and that has become something, new reality in the cities of India. In Mumbai, we are doing it without any guilt, and we are also heading to a place where cancer will be like a pandemic, literally.
Even in my family I've had people die of cancer, and I know what caused it. I changed my entire lifestyle after learning about this and what caused it. There are many things you can do to prevent it, and I'm sure maybe I will also die of cancer tomorrow because of what I've done in the first half of my life. All the damaging things I've done to my body and mind, even my mind. So it's basically in my mind what to eat, how to sleep. Your sleeping patterns play a huge role. Here again, Americans really don't know how to sleep right. Most Americans, I would say every American almost. You find they have pathetic sleep patterns, and I know this not just because of the media or news. I actually know this because I know so many Americans personally, whether as a client, a student, a friend, a relative. I actually know so many Americans today, and I know that they have pathetic sleep patterns. We in the East, or most parts of the world apart from America and some other countries in the West, we really sleep well, even today, most of us. But Americans, they have horrific sleeping patterns, and it plays a vast role in how they make judgments the next day. The following day when they wake up, they really make poor judgments about their food, about what they drink, what they eat, how they work, how focused they are while they work. And it's pathetic to live like that. You may have a lavish house, you may have a luxurious house with 5+ bedrooms and 5+ bathrooms and a beautiful view and all that. It doesn't matter one bit if you don't get proper sleep at night. And the average American has pathetic sleep patterns. So that also causes a lot of problems in your future. It causes a lot of accidents, whether on the road,
Yeah, it does.
at workplace, every single place
And every
causes
relationship
a
and
lot
everything.
more accidents.
Yeah.
Now we come from a country which has a very high percentage of road accidents. So definitely I know the reasons for that is probably that guy didn't sleep well. The driver, whoever's operating those tracks, doing whatever things on the roads, they probably didn't sleep right. Or they're not completely focused as a result of it. And the same in America. I could bet you almost 60% of accidents are caused because of poor sleep. One of the major reasons being poor sleep or lack of sleep.
Everything in life is so interconnected, and when so much of the West has taken good advancement or a step into understanding yoga. Unfortunately, yoga has been encapsulated into such a small thing that hot yoga, studio yoga, this yoga pants, and yoga mats. That is all that people talk about, or maybe Bollywood yoga. I don't know. It has become a cliche when people in the West talk about yoga. It's like as if something, it's a product. It's not a product. It's not a product. It's a lifestyle. Yoga was never a product, but there is a tendency in the West to make everything so commercial and
Have
make
a business
money out
model.
of it. Yeah, of course it has to.
Possibly the first question asked is something new, something trendy, something good.
What
First
can I
question that
earn
will be
from?
asked by an average American, not just a businessman or woman, what's the business model? And that's the pathetic state of America for the last 4 decades
When
now.
you talk about so
4
much
decades.
yoga, they
What's the business model? They will not ask, how will it benefit my kids' health? How will it benefit our lifestyle? What's the business plan? What's the business model? And that's actually what you hear from their mouths.
So,
Crazy.
there is gay yoga and there is straight yoga and what not yoga, and there is Christian yoga. I mean,
It's
yoga has
disgusting.
been given so many
It's really
dimensions.
disgusting.
It was already multifaceted, and if people actually took the time to understand real yoga, and yoga also means what you consume. It's a complete, well-being package that people are missing out by just selecting the surface level of it, or just selecting something that was superficial. So people, I know there's so much buzz about yoga in the West, but all to do with how they are making money doing it in a shallow way. If only there is ahar also part of yoga. Ahar, vihar, vichar, achar, dincharya, ratracharya. People may not know all of this. They know yoga and yoga studio. That's all. And those people, frauds that are running those yoga studios. I mean, I'm not calling everybody a fraud, but you have not really
Most of
given the
them are.
time. Most of, I think 95 to 98% of them are actually fooling people in the name of yoga, that they have learned little bit something and then they go on teaching and also make it something glamorous or something, cool about it so that people are paying money, but you're not really doing a good service. When you transfer yoga from one person to the other, there is also a tremendous amount of responsibility that you have. Most Indian people you may not see actually propagating yoga the way Westerners keep propagating to each other without even knowing much, because an Indian person knows how much they don't know about yoga, and when they are telling somebody else, they really need to know so much about it even before they start doing it. So that's how pathetic it is. So when you were talking about Savio not having a good sleep also comes from good diet. What you will digest, that is what will transform into whatever you are, and your entire day and everything, the mood and everything. People don't even know depression is also associated with food. People don't know their sleeplessness is also associated with food. Their anxiety, mood, everything is associated with food. And just one choice can make so many differences in their life. So everything, it just keeps on going in a vicious cycle that people go through. I like the song, it has sparked so much of conversation. I guess this is it for a song. This is a huge subject to talk about.